Kayaking is a fun summer activity, but getting your boat from land to water can be difficult if you're flying solo, especially if you have a two-person kayak. Today we're building a rolling caddy you can use to make transporting your kayak easy and painless. I'm Todd Dermody, and this is Done DIY. For this caddy, we'll connect different lengths of 1-inch PVC pipe to wheels and an axle. When completed, the caddy will fit into the kayak's scupper holes. If you have a solid-bottomed kayak, you can find modified directions on the blog. Since every kayak is slightly different, you'll make cuts along the way to fit the dimensions of your own kayak. Here's a complete list of the materials and tools you'll need to build your caddy. Now let's get started. First, measure the distance between the centers of your kayak's scuppers. Cut 2 pieces of PVC pipe about 10 inches long, or long enough to run from the bottom of the keel up through the scupper by a couple of inches. Next, add 2 T-connectors, as shown here. Now we'll cut a crossbar to create a horizontal connection between the 2 T's. To find the correct length, first measure the distance between the ends of the T's, length A in the diagram. Each end of the crossbar will need to slide about a ½ inch into the end of the T, so add 1 inch to your measurement A to calculate the correct length. Then cut accordingly. Fit the crossbar into each T to make sure it's the right length, but don't glue yet. We'll do that at the end. Next, we'll cut some short risers, which will make sure the kayak hull sits above the wheels. Ours were only 3 inches long. You just need enough clearance for the wheels not to rub against the hull. Insert these into the T-connectors. Attach 2 more T's onto the bottoms of the lower risers, as shown in the diagram. Next, we'll cut another horizontal crossbar to make a connection between these additional 2 T's. The length of this crossbar should be identical to the length of the first crossbar. Following the diagram, insert the hex nuts into the outside of the bottom T's. Then, thread your rod all the way through both nuts, leaving enough space on one end to fit a wheel, washers, and a locking nut. Slide a wheel onto the shorter end of the rod with a washer on either side. Cap the end with a lock nut. On the longer end of the rod, slide on a washer, then a wheel, then another washer. Then, allowing enough room for the lock nut on the end, cut the excess rod with a hacksaw and cap the end with the lock nut. Now it's time to test out your caddy. Carefully place the kayak on the caddy to ensure it fits and make any adjustments as necessary. The final step is gluing the pieces together. Remove the H-shaped portion above the axle and apply glue to the inside of each T-connector. There should be 8 openings or connection points. Fit everything back together and let dry. Now you have a convenient caddy you can use to wheel your kayak to the beach and back.